I don't know why we make the same mistake again and again and again. And this includes me. This is not some guru stuff I'm gonna tell you. No, no. This includes me. I don't know why I make the same mistake again and again, year after year. When it comes to every new year, I expect, I believe that somehow as the new year comes, in this new year, I would achieve my dreams of writing, of becoming a writer, of being and creating that identity of a person who writes. All those stories that are intertwined in my mind of suddenly writing them. But by experience, I know that that does not happen. It's a new year, and we say, new year, new me. But in actual sense, we know that it's a new year, but the same old self that has been dragging us down, the same old self that has been holding us from reaching our potential, from writing the stories, from sitting down and writing stuff down. It's the same me. Nothing has changed. You know, it does seem that we've entered the new year and something is supposed to happen, but nothing happens. You see, the biggest determining factor towards whether the dream is achieved has always been me and has always been you. And I know there might be a lot of disagreements, yeah, objections and all those things, yeah. Well, well, you could say, well, it's not like that. It's just that my life is tough now. But I'm not saying that it's not tough. But I'm saying it has always been us. It has always been me. Okay, I'll give an example. I wanted to write, but I said, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a typewriter. I bought a typewriter, hoping that somehow having the typewriter write the muse is suddenly going to speak to me, and I'm going to get better at writing. After all, most of the writers, they use the typewriter to write. I bought a typewriter, I started typing. The sound was just too annoying, I just couldn't continue with the stuff, and it was, man, labor. It was a labor. You know, typing a typewriter, you gotta punch that thing well, else you're not gonna see what you're writing. I gave up, man. I really gave up. The typewriter is still there in the box, covered. I don't think I've really used it to write anything significant. You might think, oh, if I have a laptop, I'm going to write. Right now, I have a phone. I can't really type with my phone. That's not really good. Okay? You have the laptop. Oh, I think I should probably have a desktop. If I have a desktop, that's when it's going to be good. After all, it's going to make things easier. Yeah, of course. But look, the tools is meant to help the master. But the tools cannot help the master if the master is not willing to help himself. And that's just the truth. When we zoom out a bit, we realize that look, in the olden days, how did writers write? They wrote with a pen or a pencil on the note, on the paper. But now, that seems really hard. Well, the thing is not about the tools, right? It's not about writing on the laptop or writing about paper. It's simply about us choosing to write. And as much as resistance will always have a way, a reason to find something to conjure and tell us that look, let's calm down, let's wait a bit. We're going to do this thing when these things get better. We're going to do this thing when we're retired. We're going to do this thing when we're no longer a parent. We're no longer a parent. No longer parents. That's not what I want to use. Where the kids are grown and they no longer need that so much attention from us. Where I'm sorry to say this, but we want to live long, but we know that we could die any day. Yeah, we don't want to die any day, but we want to live long, but we know that we will die. And you see, people who die isn't necessarily about those who are sick. No, like I've seen people who are sick who are like you just say, oh, these people condemned, they're going to die in any moment, and they have lived those who who are healthy. Like if they say points who will die, you will never point at those people. Now, of course, it's great. We want to live long, but some of the writers, I won't say most, but some of the writers that we, I think, who wrote Wuthering Heights? What's her name again? I think Sylvia Plath. Yeah, something like that. She she died young. I think about 30 something or so. I can't remember the exact age. But what if she waited and okay, when I get to 40 or 50? Well, there are a lot of writers who got to 40, 50 as I writing. Yeah, it's great that they lived to that time and they wrote awesome. But honestly, what if? A lot of people who have their stories back in the grave. They're like, oh yeah, I don't have anything special. Back in the grave. You see, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the cycle that is holding me. Holding me. I'm probably holding you from writing. This is it. There are different cycles, and this is the first one. You're not good at writing. So when you sit to write, it's hard. Or probably it's good, but what comes out isn't exactly what you picture good writing to be. You have a mental picture in your mind. It's what I would call you have a great picture in your mind, but your manner of telling, your technique, your skill is not good enough to represent and recapture that same picture in your mind down to paper. So what happens? It's not exactly you're not good enough, and because you're not good enough, you don't get the right good stuff. So you don't write because you're not good. Honestly, you're not good. Let's be honest. You're not. You just read it and you're like, oh, this is crap. Okay. And because you're not good, you don't write. And because you don't write, you're not good. And because you're not good, you don't write. And because you don't write, you're not good. So you see this cycle that ends up keeping you from becoming a good, great, or whatever adjective you decide to put before the writing. You're not good at it. Admit it. The fact that you're aware that you're not good at it is great. Yeah. Look, there are a lot of people who write and they're not even aware that they're writing crap. They're not even aware. They think that what they're writing is the greatest of all that they write. It's what called the unconscious competence, the unconscious incompetence, and then the conscious competence. So the unconscious competence, you're like, you're bad, and you're not even aware that you're bad at what you do, you know. Then the conscious incompetence is like, okay, you're not good at what you do, and you're aware that you're not good at what you do. So it's at that point you say, okay, I acknowledge that I'm not good at what I do. So what's the way forward? You know, we see this writers who ask them, what is the one advice you give people? What is the one thing that you give people? All boils down to writing. You can't be good if you don't write. Yeah, I admit there's some who are really talented, but there are others who work on the craft and find their way around the words. That's one cycle. And it stops a lot of people from writing. Hello, good day, everyone. That's a good day. I don't know, it's good night, so good evening, wherever you're listening. My name is Oyemi Chinwakona, and you're welcome to the Build Writing Podcast. Today, I wanted to address the New Year, New Me stand. To me, I feel that the New Year, same you. Nothing is going to change except we change. Things might be hard. I don't know what your situation is right now. You're probably struggling to keep a job. You don't have the time to write. You're not a full-time writer. You're someone who loves and wants to create stories, but you don't have the time. You have to take care of yourself, feed and take care of the family and do all those things, earn a living. But you don't have the time. Like, you know how long I've been trying to write for the past 5 years? And I looked and I was like, wait, if I found the time for writing, if I created the time, you know what? Oh God, this is amazing. Yeah. What is holding us is us. That's the first one thing. But I don't want to sound like a guru or any of those things. What is holding us is not more money. What is holding us is not more skill. Of course, more skill is great, but I'll get to it in a point. You will never get to more skill except you do the basic thing. What is holding us and what we need to pay, the price we need to pay is time. Time to practice, time to work on it, time to write, time to edit, time to cut out words, time to look at the style of great writers, trying to imitate, time to copy, time to mix and mash the styles of other writers, hoping that you find your style, find your voice. There's this common advice that how do you find your voice? You see, it's by using it. And I know it might sound basic, but as writers, how do you find your style? How do you create something unique and awesome that when you read it, you're like, wow, I'm glad I wrote that stuff. It's by writing. It's only in writing. It's writing that this, like in speaking, it's by speaking that you find your voice. That you understand who you really are. What's your peculiar style? And the same call, this is not me advising, this is a confession, and this is talking to a community of someone listens to the podcast and creating accountability. That this year 2023 is not the year where we let the past all by. It's not the year of sudden progress. No. It is a year of patient progress. We need to show up. We need to create the time for writing. It's going to be hard, and that's okay because you're not good at it. But when you practice, when you work on it, because I'll be honest with you. Most of us don't have terrible writing. Yeah, we don't have terrible writing. Like if you have terrible writing, yeah, that's progress. You're like, okay, we're a bad writer, but you're a writer still. Okay, we just need to find out how we can change that adjective, Here you someone who writes, so because of writing and you have works you put around. And they're not so good, they're terrible. We we don't have to tell you. It's not like we hate you, but you aware that your work's terrible. But we'll see how we can change the adjective, like moving from bad to probably good and then probably, excellent. Okay? But for most of us, we're not even writers. And yet we're thinking of, oh, I want to be a good writer. I want to be a good writer. You're not even a writer and you're looking for an adjective? Look, dude, calm down. Let's become writers first. If it means we have to start at terrible writing, let's start there and work our way up to great and excellent writing. It's a new year with certain goals, with certain, we have whatever results we want to create in our mind, but it was never the goals, it was never the people, it was never the environment, it was us. It was you. It was me. And this is what I want to tell writers. I don't know what your goal might be. I don't know what you have in mind. But know that you're the driver. You're the captain of the ship. And if anything goes wrong, you're not. It's not nobody's to blame. It's you. Yeah, that's just the truth. It's you. It's not like there's anyone to blame, and it's you. You're the captain. You're in charge. Yeah. And I know as much as we want to put it off because we're not good at it. So we hope that sometime in the future we will magically become good at it. That's not going to happen. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Except of course you were born magically with it then, but that's not going to happen. You're not going to get magically good at it. You got to sit down and write. You're not going to suddenly become good at it. You have to create a time to write. Everybody has the goals. Everybody has the things they want to be. We have to sit down and write. It's us. It's not the things around us. It's us. I don't know what the goals you're setting. I don't know what you're putting in place. But we have to change. 2023 is our year. 2023 is, and as I'm saying this, this is applicable in whatever year you're listening to this. 2023, it's a year where we get real estate straight with ourselves. Because the idea of looking at the motivation, the inspiration outside is not going to work. I'll tell you. Right. If you want to write and you're like, oh, I don't feel inspired, I should probably go listen and watch some of these great writers and listen to what they have to say about this. And then you listen to one of those writers and he's like, you gotta keep doing it. And like, oh, I'm inspired. I'm going to write. They're like, nah. I probably read about the stuff first. Let me go read about the history of all Nobel Prize writers. Now, of course, learning about that stuff is great, but I'm just talking about myself. I'm not judging you. I'm judging myself. So don't feel like, who's this crappy guy who's coming around the podcast? Who is he? Who is it to tell me who I am? No, I'm not judging you. I'm judging myself. Like I said, it's a confession. I hope it inspires you. I hope you connect and we'll find common grounds where if we connect, that's great. If not, no problem. You know, you might be the great writer you are. Awesome, wonderful. I'm happy for you. But I'm on a journey to finding my path. So if you're not on that journey, great for you. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know. But if you're the journey, you can continue with me. You get it? Now, when we read books, we create. I must say this. I want to talk about the magical mess. Yeah, the magical mess. I need to talk about this. I feel that this podcast is not going to be complete if I don't talk about it. Now, what's the magical mess? Okay, I'll explain it. Now, when you watch movies, the movie is awesome, wonderful. That's if it's a good movie, but as much as possible, it's good. There's music, there's stuff, and there's storyline, there's plot, and everything. And like the car chase and the scene, depending on the kind of movie you're watching, and the horror and the stuff, are like whoa, and the music is really scary. Or the comedy, it's funny and you're laughing and stuff like that. It's magical. But have you ever gone to a place where they shoot a movie and then you see the raw form of a movie coming into making? You see these scenes, action. Sometimes they have to take multiple scenes again and again. The camera angle, the stuff like it's not that entertaining. Like if you're watching the behind the scenes of a horror movie, for example, and you need to watch. You need to watch it. You need to see all the spy movies that are scary. And then you see the green screen guys. They come and they hold the stuff and they wrap. And then you see the costume. There's nothing scary about the stuff. Or maybe the gun scenes where they're like, oh, the bullet's gonna go. There's really nothing happening. Like it's a mess. I explain like that. It's a mess. People. I don't think people will be entertained from such a thing. Like if you just try and watch stuff, or if you cannot like get access to a movie behind the scenes, try and see, let's say, rehearsal of a drama, and see how it is. It's not as interesting. You have to do multiple takes before you have to say, oh no, that was stupid. There's something else. Oh, that line was great. Okay, but this, when it comes to writing, we read probably a 200-page book or a 300-page book, and it's awesome. Wonderful. I love this book. I feel like, have you ever read a book where when you read the book, the moment you finish reading the book, you hate the writer? It's a love-hate relationship. How do I explain this? Okay? Like you hate the writer for making the book end. Like you're so immersed in this world that you just don't want it to end. And then you hate the writer for making it end. Like I'm talking about 700 pages book. You've read it and you're like, wow, why this end? Why did the writer have to end this thing? Like, dude, why would you end it? Like, you just don't want to read the world that has been created. I'm talking those kind of books. Now, when the writer is writing it, it's not as magical as you experience it. Because it's magical and he loves what he's doing. He's writing. Some of them, they have to like do so the edits and come back to it. Some write once and that's it. But usually it's not as sweet as you experience it. You have to sit and type. At a slow speed, it's going and going, and then they stay stuck, and then they come on, and then it's a journey for them. And then they're discovering the writing depending on the method of the writer, and there's some cover, the edits, change things, and a couple of things. It's not as magical as we expect it to be. Now, being a writer, when it comes to writing, we compare the experience of reading to writing, and it's not the same. It's a mess, and we have to embrace it as it is. And this is me speaking to myself. I have to embrace the mess as it is, and create magic out of it. So the reader will read and like, wow, I love this author. I love this writer. Look, I've fallen in love with him. Wow. And have you ever read a book and everything the writer reads is as if it's it's like your thoughts are connected. Like what you would think is the way the writer writes. And you're like, wow, there's no loophole in the writing. And you're like, wow, perfect. Like you connect with the story immediately. It doesn't really matter where the person where the story is from, whether you in Europe and the story is about a guy in Africa. You connect with the story, whether it's a Mexican guy and you are probably in Africa and you're like, oh, I've never left this country, called Nigeria or Uganda or Kenya, but you connect with the story. Why the other stories there, like it's a Nigerian guy, it's this, but yeah, like, I don't see anything in the story. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So I understand that it's a magical mess, and I'm going to embrace that idea. But most importantly, I know that nothing's going to change except I create time for it. That I have to pay the price. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. You can't get into it for free. If you want to be a writer, you have to pay the price for writing. You have to pay the price of time. Set out time to write. And it's very important. We create a time. Now, you shouldn't be expecting to create 6 hours a day. Not only, except you're a full-time writer. That's great. That's wonderful. But if you're not a full-time writer, it's about progress, not about the time. You can put 30 minutes. And you know, one of something that most people don't understand is that if you put in that 30 minutes to write, or probably an hour to write, while you're working, your brain, your mind is working on the plot. And when you sit down, you type and you write, and you're like, wow, he writes 30 to 40, 1 hour. How does he do it? Like everything that's been formed in your mind, you're walking, you're moving, you're options. It's enveloped you. You see people like, whoa, that stuff could be in my book. I could make do of that one, you know. That's like Agatha Christie said that she's a popular crime story writer. She was like, the time for dishes and all the stuff. At the time, stories are made, are created, and then what we do when we sit to write is just like drop it down on the paper or whatever equipment you're using to write. So as the new year, this is coming from me, and I want to tell us that the new year is the same as we just have to change. Like the problem has never been the year, the problem has never been the situation, the problem has never been the pressure, the problem has never been the lack of time. And in forthcoming episodes, we'll talk about that one too. The problem has always been us. If it's that dear to us, we'll have to pay the price, my friend. And until next time, keep writing. It was a loving time having a chat with you, and sure hope I'll see you in the next episode. Once again, you're Machine Luan Konam from the Build Writing Podcast.